So let's talk about the February month now. So Jan is now done in order to find the legal experts and the consultants and all. How was February and what happened?
February, we had to brainstorm. We had a strategic meeting. We had to brainstorm how long we are going to do this. Regularizing, cleaning up, and then finally discover the value, real value of Satyam, then float it for takeover. That is option 1. Option 2, we have now managed to convince majority of the clients, customers, employees, we are in the path of recovery, give us some support and cooperate, so that very soon you will find a new owner taking control, and therefore nothing will go haywire for you, nothing will be derailed. So your project continuity, confidentiality, everything will be preserved, execution will be smooth. So best is to start the process of inviting investors to express their interest at the earliest, because as is where is condition, why not go in? So this was a second option. Then we analyzed the pros and cons. We felt Satyam from ICU, we have brought it to the normal ward, where it is now in a position to walk, breathe comfortably without any assistance, equipments. It is able to have intake, and it is also, healthy, reasonably healthy. It may not be able to run, but it is reasonably healthy. That kind of a status we have brought in. Now, unless we start this process of identifying the strategic investor, it may be too late, by which time some of the customers may lose patience and terminate the contracts. Some of the employees may resign and go. So, and we are not the owners. We are here for a purpose. So, we should not test the endurance, patience of all the stakeholders beyond a point in time. So we opted for the second option. So second half of February month was for applying to SEBI for relaxation of the takeover scheme, so that it should not take too long a period, certain exemptions, relaxations, all that. And petitions were filed, company law petitions were filed to facilitate all these things and to take approvals. So that was the second half of February. So the February went on with tying up loose, statutory dues, departments handling, gaining immunity, then kick-starting the preparatory work for these invoking takeover regulations.
Got it. So in the takeover regulation, this means that you would approach some company which will buy Satyam.
We will invite offers. Expression of interest.
Okay.
So actually that all happened in March.
Got it.
In the month of March, when we floated this and invited, about 141 responses came.
Oh wow!
But initially we were surprised and jubilant. So many want to take over Satyam, but many of them were also fictitious.
Oh, this was also fictitious.
Fictitious. In fact, in the name of Ramalinga Raju, his brother and all, there were expression of interest. But later it was proved to be false. And similarly, there were people who expressed interest with no capability of taking over Satyam.
Okay.
That also was there. So finally, out of 141, 10 expression of interest appeared genuine, bona fide, and with some track record.
And capable of
capability.
Satyam.
But that, again, by the time we wanted documents, formalities to be done, guarantee to be given, it turned out to be 7. And out of 7, again, those who complied with our submission of documents requirement, only 5 submitted. And out of that 5, Two of them backed out because they did not get their shareholders' approval to go ahead.
Okay.
So with the result, only 3 remained in the race.
Got it.
Finally.
Got it. So February thing, like you mentioned, the statutory dues collection and applying to SEBI, that happened in Feb, and then March. We'll discuss about the auction thing in detail. But when was the point when it was difficult for you to convince the customers to keep contracts with Satyam and convince the employees to stay back with the company? When did that happen?
Yeah, that was in the initial stage itself, in the January-February transition.
Okay.
Customers had one simple statement: we are a reputed company. You are a tainted company. Why should we work with you?
What kind of customers are these? Can you name some companies?
No, see, in customers were in US, Australia, and Europe. So all these different continents. But some of them where fraud happens everywhere. So long as you can guarantee continuity of project, we don't mind.
Yeah.
That was the attitude. I would say most of the European companies were like that.
Okay.
They looked at it from a different perspective. Actually, US companies were more ruthless in wanting to terminate because they had their own pressure from their management head or top or shareholders. So it was like that. But we could convince them over a period of time. In fact, I toured around Middle East. Middle East, I devoted and toured to Bahrain, then Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, everywhere, met the customers, vendors, and where the attrition was almost zero. So, what we told the customers was, Government of India is keen on reviving the company. And we are investing our whole time to do it. We will not spare any effort in this direction. All that we request you is wait and watch for a few weeks. If going is good, satisfactory, continue to patronize. Otherwise, in spite of waiting and watching for few weeks, if you think things are not going in a positive direction or you have no confidence on us, tell us. We will help to migrate you to a competitive service provider, alternative service provider. And we did not stop there. We went one step further. In case the competitive service provider doesn't have the bandwidth to execute your project, we will rebadge our employees on their payroll so that the continuity is not hampered. So this kind of a transparent talk worked wonders with the customers. They said, okay, after all, they need a few weeks. See, one advantage, actually, the hidden strength of this strategy was in a brick and mortar industry, like cement industry or steel industry, in any of those commodities being sold, produced and sold, you can terminate the contract, cancel the order overnight, and place similar order to another supplier. In IT, software execution industry, you cannot do that. It takes time for you to migrate without derailing the continuity and confidentiality. It takes 3 to 4 months. That advantage, we used it like this.
Yeah.
So customers also had no other option, to put it in a blunt way, but we did not highlight that. But they also thought this makes this a logical way to follow. Even if to migrate we need time, let us wait and watch before taking that step. So they deferred. And employees, what approach we adopted was, we told them very simple, we are strangers to Satyam. You are what you are because of Satyam. So, because many of them were 15 years, 20 years with Satyam. So, this is the time Satyam needs you. It is, everybody is saying it is a sinking ship. But you are the sailor who can make it, float again. We have to bring the business back on track. And only if you cooperate, we can do it. So give us an helping hand. so that we will revive the company, and few months down the line, when we accomplish this job, you can look back with a sense of satisfaction that you paid the gratitude which you owe it to this company, and you did not desert it for your personal interest. After that, you migrate anywhere you want. So this is the kind of approach which again worked wonders. They all cooperated. In fact, in that customers, I said no, they were willing to wait and watch on one condition. Every week we'll have a follow-up call. So at the end of every call, I used to ask them only one question. How is the service delivery by the Satyamites, employees of Satyam? I was so happy that every customer uniformly started responding to that question by saying, before the fraud, it was good. Now it is the best. Which meant that the Satyam employees decided it is now or never, do or die.
Wow.
And we must put our heart and soul and give the best. Maybe that statement which we made, we are nobody, we want to revive. You are what you are because of Satyam, so you give your best.
Yeah.
And so that made it possible. So this is how I would say it.
In those 3 months period, how many hours you used to sleep on an average, and how many hours you used to work?
All that I remember is very erratic sleeping hours and food habits, and no time to exercise because different time zones, and calls used to come at early morning, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock from US. So you finish that and sleep. And sometimes when I used to be working, somebody will come and point out, your breakfast is still, as it is. This would be 2 o'clock in the afternoon when he has come to check up what I need for lunch. Then I used to realize I have not taken breakfast. So, and in fact, one executive, to sum it up, one executive said, government has not put you on a hot seat. Government has put you on fire straight away.
How did you respond to that statement? Government has put you on fire.
No, actually, Kushal, at your age, you will enjoy this statement. In life, the sweetness of success or the charm of your accomplishment does not depend solely on the distance you have traveled. It is also dependent on what challenges you have surmounted, what hurdles you overcome, what bottlenecks you eliminated on the way. That is what makes it cherishable, worthy of celebrating.
Yeah, I remember there was one student, I think at some international, like outside India, some student met you and he was telling his mom that he's Sri T.N. Manoharan sir and he's saving Satyam.
Correct. Actually, the entire campus had many Satyam employees and they were all debating job is insecure, whether salary will come and all that. And she was there as a visiting guest, my S12 student's mother. She took the courage to stand up and tell all of them in that social gathering, so-and-so has gone onto the board. I know about him. You will not lose your jobs. Your payments will be on time. Nothing to be worried. They were all taken aback. But all that they were wanting was some solace of comfort that came from her.
Yeah.
Unknown quarters. And when I came to know about it, conveyed through the student, I thought that reaffirmed, validated my resolve that come what may, we have to dive deep and rescue Satyam.
Right. If you learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that we can bring you the best content possible. Also, if you want to watch this entire episode, click on the link in the description box and you can go to Kushal Lodha YouTube channel and watch the entire podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching this and have an amazing day.